What's up, guys? Son of Gotham here with episode 2 of Gotham FM. It's been a little while. I will get into it in just a little bit as to why this is taking so long to upload. But today, we got NES cartridges that are selling for a lot of money. We got our Black Widow review. We got to talk about Black Adam, Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and San Andreas getting a remaster. Also, the end of an era, Harley Quinn. And we also have our past and present movie reviews all coming up right here on Gotham FM. What's going on, everybody? Son of Gotham here, and I'm joined, of course, with a Gallo who is making his debut here on the show for the second time. Gallo, how does it feel to know that we have to completely redo everything we did the very first time?
It's a bummer.
Yeah, it's a major
show must
bummer.
go on.
The show must go on. The Vince McMahon attitude. We're also joined from our brother from another camel. We are joined with A1D.
What's up, brother?
What's going on, brother? We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot of news to get into. We got our past and present reviews. We also have our Pick'em segment, which was chosen by Gallo this week, and we'll get into that a little bit later. It's going to be a surprise. But first and foremost, we got to talk about... Now, these seem old now, but we have to get all this done. All this prep would have been for nothing if we don't. We got to talk about the fact that... Actually, real quick, let me get you guys so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. So you can at least see, like, the stream, you know what I mean? So you can see the topic on the screen. I think me and Gallo did this last time. All right, there you go. Just so you can kind of see what we're working with. But we got to talk about Black Adam. The pictures that have been going around. The on-set picture of Dwayne Johnson, the one right there on the screen that you're looking at. For those of you listening, he's staring over the set of Black Adam. He's looking as jacked as I've ever seen. There's no way in hell it's natural. And this picture specifically here is supposed to be some
Totally natty.
They're supposed to be using some sort of new technology with the beads on him, and that's going to be for... I don't know, A1. Do you think it's going to be part of the suit? What do you think that this new technology they're using is going to be for?
I think it's like it's a skin, like on the skin type.
Right. You know, I also heard that as far as that is in regards to that, that the suit is supposed to. This is just the rumors that I've been reading, that it's going to be somewhat kind of like Steppenwolf from Justice League, how it was constantly moving, you know, like the plating was kind of shifting.
I love the way that they did the costume in that movie.
So, and I think the Black Adam, the suit they want to use for that, is supposed to have some sort of like shimmering effect that's constantly happening. So that should be pretty cool.
I gotta say this real quick.
Yeah.
I gotta commend DC. I think they have the better looking suits.
Stop the presses, everybody. Did everyone just hear what he just said?
Whoa. I'll repeat that. I think DC has better suits than Marvel. They just look so clean. I can't lie. It's the truth. I mean, look at a Superman suit and look at Batman's suit. I mean, it looks raw. It looks real.
You talking about in the extended universe?
Yeah.
I think every suit for the extended universe is an A+. I agree with that. Although we're going to talk about it later, but I do think Black Widow has notoriously always had a great costume, and not just because of how tight it is.
You know what I'm saying?
But I've never liked Iron Man's suit and stuff like that. I don't know. There's just certain suits I don't like.
For the first Iron Man and second Iron Man, those were great.
The one in 3 was horrendous.
Oh.
Civil War looked. I don't know what it was in Civil War. I didn't get it. Like, I swear it's like they had issues. But anyways, we're getting way too off topic here. Let's go back to Black Adam. How old is he? Who has the age for Dwayne Johnson right now? Is he 50 or is he 49? He ain't 43, bro.
49.
49.
So a man who's about to turn 50 is easily in the best shape of his life. We all remember The Rock from WWF back in the day, okay? He was a little boy back then compared to what he looks like now. This dude he's a freak. Dude is a freakazoid now. I'm very impressed with his conditioning. We signed and I say we because I am a DC fan, we signed the hottest free agent in cinema. Getting Dwayne Johnson in the extended universe, listen to me very carefully, will save DC in the future. He's going to help preserve the DC universe for the future. What's going on with Cavill? I can't defend. We're getting ready to get into it here in just a second. What's going on with Margot? I can't defend. I can't defend any of the shit Warner Brothers is doing right now to those guys. But signing Dwayne Johnson, that's a move. Go ahead, guys.
I mean, that's a lot of leverage, especially since, Cavill, they both have the same management team, which is, was it The Rock's ex-wife?
Not sure.
I think The Rock may have, he may, get Cavill back in good graces.
I think he could.
We'll
I also think that, I don't know if he is today, but Dwayne Johnson was the highest paid actor in Hollywood in, I think, 2019 or 2020. Does anybody remember what year it was? But it's a fact.
2019, I believe.
Okay, so 2019, he was for a fact the highest paid actor in Hollywood. And the fact that we have him in the DC universe, that's a big win for us. But I am very happy to see Black Adam, Dwayne Johnson, in the condition he's in. Go ahead, Awandy.
Bro, he's known to be the franchise savior.
Yes.
Look what he did to the Fast and Furious.
He did give that the injection of adrenaline that it needed. It needed that anti-hero.
Quick mention.
Yeah.
Dwayne Johnson, earnings estimate $87.5 million, highest paid actor of 2020.
There you go. So he's probably been the highest paid actor for a few years now.
A few years. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so very impressive. I'm glad we got him. We got to move on. Gallo, you brought this to my attention here today. We have the fact that Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and San Andreas is getting a remaster. News broke earlier this week. Go ahead, Gallo.
Yeah, there's really not much to go about it. I mean, this just got leaked yesterday, but from rumors and reports, they're saying that a GTA Remastered trilogy is coming to PlayStation, Xbox, and for the first time, Nintendo.
Switch is going to get it.
Yes, the Switch is going to get the Remastered trilogy.
Wow.
And now, from what they're saying, it's going to be it's going to be an Unreal Engine. I don't think it's going to be on the Rage engine, but it's going to be a remastered. It's going to try to keep everything from the originals, as in UI and everything is just going to be updated. I think the camera, because at the time, you remember, they only had, the one joystick and, the right stick, the controls weren't as refined as they are now.
That's true.
That's what they're going to do.
The only thing I'll say is...
they're going to try to keep it to the original.
See, that to me has me a little worried if that's true, because when I think of remasters, the first thing that sticks out to me in the past 3 or 4 years is the Resident Evil 2 remake. Mm-hmm. And that, to me, is one of the greatest video games of the past decade. That was a remaster, and they made that completely different. I mean, not completely different. They still they paid homage to the original game by having stuff in there for that. But as far as the overall game itself, the multiple storylines were very different. The looks were different. You don't think that they're going to maybe add some new stuff to the story and clean things up a little bit, especially with 3. 3 was a very dirty game. I don't mean that in a bad way. It was just very raw. It was almost like the game was so good, but when you play a game like San Andreas, Grand Theft Auto 3, you play it now, it feels like an unfinished game. It feels like you're playing one of the game designer's computer files, because there's just so much stuff that doesn't really make, not that it doesn't make sense, but it's just like you said, the controls weren't as refined. So yeah. I'd be interested to see. So what are they going to do? Just put a fresh coat of paint on it and and say, "Oh, we got the remaster"? Because that to me just sounds like a cash grab.
I mean, from what I heard, I mean, like I said, this is still fresh. We still gonna have to see what the news say in a couple more weeks. But they are gonna, like I said, refine the UI. They're gonna make some tweaks. How, to what extent, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna, fix the gameplay a little bit. Stuff that we had trouble with. They're basically gonna just make it to where, like, it's playable in 2021.
I wonder if we're going to be able to swim in 3 in Vice City.
Oh, I wish so. I don't think people will get mad if they didn't add it.
What, swimming?
Yeah, or I'm saying if they did add it. I don't
Oh
think people
yeah,
are gonna
well,
get mad at that.
bro, I think there's a lot of things. There's so much you can do, especially with 3, because at the time 3 didn't license music until what they did with Vice City. Vice City was completely licensed music, except for whatever that metal band is they created for the game. I can't even remember what it is. Love Fist. Grand Theft Auto 3 had maybe 2 or 3 songs that were actually like real licensed music, and then everything else was like made for the game itself. So you can like really go back and give it a fresh soundtrack, get the dude that played Laszlo, get him to do a fresh Chatterbox hour, because that's only like an hour and a half and it just loops. Anyways, I'm rambling. There's so much you can do with it.
And then you got to remember, like, so those old games that the audio really wasn't there that much. I mean, there was a lot of dead air between like cutscenes and stuff.
I will say,
how that's gonna be.
Vice City, like a lot of things people forget about, especially in the early days with like Vice City and San Andreas, their soundtracks were so important to those games back then because music is so easily accessible now. It was like, video games are, for a while had been putting music in, like, Tony Hawk had music and all those kind of games like that. But the fact that Grand Theft Auto threw in like 80s metal and shit like that, and then San Andreas you had like legit LA hip hop, you had grunge music and stuff like that. Stuff really adds to the success and overall feel of the game. So I'm interested to see. I want to see them do something different. I don't want a fresh, coat of lacquer on the games that I grew up playing and then say, here's a remastered version of this. It looks better. Okay? I don't just want a better looking game. Like you said, I want something that's going to play more fluid. I want a fresh coat of paint on it. And I wouldn't mind some additional voice work. Don't tell me you can't get Matthew Matson to voice Tony Cipriani. Matthew Matson's probably literally tarring somebody's roof right now to pay his fucking mortgage, okay? Matthew Matson can step in. The only problem is R.I.P. Frank Vincent. R.I.P., bro. He will not be able to voice Salvatore Leone.
I mean, much of those voice actors really hate Rockstar now because of the way they signed the contract. But I bet you, if Rockstar comes up to them and throws them some cash, they're gonna sign.
Oh yeah, especially after the pandemic and everything going down now. A lot of people, I know, like voice actors probably didn't lose out on money and stuff because if anything, they probably made more. But Laszlo Jones, I can't remember his exact name. The guy that did Chatterbox. Well, he was a character in 5. If it's like, hey, we'll give you $100,000 to come do a Chatterbox, and if you remember, he was actually the DJ on V-Rock in Vice City.
Yeah,
and I can't remember. Was he in San Andreas? Did they have like a Chatterbox or whatever? I can't even remember. Anyways,
man, I can't recall.
I don't know. We'll know more as time goes. Like I said, this has a 2022 release, I believe, right?
Yeah. Oh, no. I heard that it's coming out in October.
See, that scares me. That to me, that scares the shit out of me. I don't now. If that's true,
it sounds too early.
That's way too early. It's August right now, bro.
Yeah, they're saying October or November. That's going to be the release.
Ew. I don't like it.
No.
Don't like it.
It's gonna be a cash grab thing.
I called it at the start of this news point. Cash sounds like a cash grab. Speaking of grabbing some cash, we got to talk about some people who had to run and grab some cash to pay for some old school NES cartridges. So, little bit of a story as to why. First and foremost, I'm going to timestamp this and then I'm going to have to re-timestamp it. Let me just explain very, very quickly why. I want to thank everybody for the views, too, by the way. Our last episode did like 50 views. This is a channel with 19 subscribers. I can't get mad at that. 50 views is 50 views, bro.
Are you talking about the video you made 3 months ago?
So, what happened was, episode 2, we recorded close to, 2 hours, Gallo?
Yeah.
I mean, almost 2 hours full podcast. And that day before, I had downloaded GTA 5 on my computer. It took up, and I didn't have it downloaded to my hard drive up here. So my computer had like maybe a gig's worth of space. We recorded the 2 hour podcast, and after it got done processing, there was nowhere for it to go, and we lost 2 hours of a podcast. So a lot of this is kind of what would you call it? Remastered. So basically, we were talking about in the last. Yeah, that was man. We need a crash on that one. Yankees. So what happened was, I originally brought a story to Gallo. I said, "Bro, you're not going to believe this story about this cartridge for the NES Zelda," and it turns out that in an auction, an unopened case, it's actually shifting in that image slideshow there on the not the Discord, but Streamlabs. There it is right there. Has the 9.0 rating. That sold for, get ready, folks, $870,000. So here was the thing. The last time we recorded this was my story, and Gallo had to Tommy top it, and I didn't know about it. He told me that a copy of Super Mario 64,
that's right,
sold for $1.56 million. Now, I love Super Mario 64. Is that $1 million game? No.
Nope.
But it was for the unopened, completely. Box, everything was in perfect shape, okay? So 2 days, it started out, the Zelda cartridge sold for $870. What was it, 2 days later, then the Mario cartridge sold?
Yeah, just a couple days right after.
So 2 weeks ago, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, we recorded the episode that would never happen. Since then, Gallo, I want you to tell everybody what the original 85 Super Mario Brothers on the Nintendo Entertainment System just got auctioned off for.
Okay, so on Friday, collectible site Rally announced that somebody paid $2 million for an unopened 1985 Super Mario Bros. Video game cartridge.
$2 million for a game
now
that
the
came
new world
out.
record.
It came out 36 years ago. Could you imagine? I mean, dude, just the overall thought process. If you just
How old were you, 20 when that came out?
shut the fuck up. Imagine if in 1985 you just bought an extra copy of Super Mario, threw it in a box, kept it temperature controlled, and just kind of kept it in good shape. Would you have thought that 36 years later that thing was going to be worth $2 million?
No, never in a million years.
I get it. I gotta say, man, that to me, Super Mario really did evolve the video game industry. There's no doubt about it. Like, Mario to me is, and we can have this argument all day, Mario is the most recognizable video game character of all time. And
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think, I mean, it's great seeing these, sell for millions of dollars and everything. Puts video games back in the mainstream. But don't you think it hurts collectors? Like, in the long run, it makes it so that these games skyrocket in value, and, modern people like us, can't attain sometimes these games because they go for hundreds of thousands of dollars now.
You know what, though? It's kind of been evolving for years, because even 10, 15 years ago, there was copies of Super Smash Brothers on 64 selling for $25, $30. And that seemed outrageous to me even 10 years ago. And I'm just like, I'm not paying that. And I'm sure a copy of Super Smash Brothers on Nintendo 64 outside the box and everything, I'm sure that game goes for more than that now.
Like if you could find an N64 cheaper than you would find a Super Mario 64 cartridge.
That's true.
It says a lot.
I remember, if you can go to many like disc replays and stuff like that. You can go find cartridges for 99 cents. They're just not the best of games. But the ones that are classics, like Zelda, like Super Mario 64, Donkey Kong 64, GoldenEye is probably one of the most expensive. Banjo-Kazooie was always one of my favorites on the 64. Turok was fantastic. It's great. Yep. I mean, we could go all day on
On.
Pokemon Snap, the original
No
on
Mercy?
64. WF No Mercy. How about all the WCW? You know, the WCW versus NWO. Those were all.
Oh, I hated Pokemon Snap. That game made me mad because I remember I really wanted that game, and all you did was take pictures, and it pissed me off.
Dude, I was so I was so addicted to Pokemon. I didn't care what I got my
Pokemon
hands-
Stadium too, though.
Pokemon Stadium was a fire
my
ass game, bro.
God.
So, and
That
that,
game
that
was
again, that
amazing.
game probably goes for God knows how much. All those old Pokemon cartridges and stuff go for a lot. Dude, go on eBay right now. If I went on eBay right now, okay, and I type in, let's see, what do we think here? Probably, I'll say Game Boy Pokemon Red, maybe?
Okay.
Game Boy Pokemon Red. Let's just see how much it goes for right now. Okay, so this one is out of the cartridge. They're saying brand new. It's not. So that
You can tell.
Well, yeah, it's not brand new. It's out of the fucking package. So it
Yeah.
says you can buy one right now. It's $15. So that's not what I was expecting. Oh, but here's one right here. Look at this. Pokemon Red. I don't know what was up with that thing up there. Is that just... That can't be the game.
Yeah, remember Pokemon Red came out 22
it's a hack.
years ago.
It's a hack.
Oh.
It's a cartridge that has every Pokemon in it, like red, yellow, crystal. So it's something somebody's custom made.
I bet you like a sealed copy of that game would sell for hundreds.
Right here, Game Boy, Pokemon Red. It's not unsealed, but it does have the box and the pamphlet, all the stuff that goes inside. It actually has a little poster, like a little insert that says Pokemon Stadium March 2000, letting people know. This right here is going for $140.
Wow.
And that's unopened, or not unopened. So I'm sure a pristine copy goes for God knows how much. Here's another one, $123.50. Whoa, here's one for $390. And it is unopened. So an unopened version of Red, $390. Even that's crazy.
That feels so good to open nowadays, especially what is it called? The little book that used to come with these games.
Oh yeah, the
Man,
instruction, the game manuals.
Instruction, yeah. Those were so good. We used to, look at them the way man, those things were a beauty.
I
Now,
remember
you don't get those nowadays.
when Sega CD, those cartridges, they came with just big, tall, like VHS looking cartridges or cases, and you open it up and you literally had like a fucking book to look at. I mean, it was, it was a lot of shit. I remember taking the booklets. I remember taking the Metal Gear Solid booklet to school. And just showing my friends, like, dude, look at Decoy Octopus, look at Revolver Ocelot, look at all these guys. I mean, it was just cool. And then, back then, listen, man, it's all about convenience nowadays. It really is.
I mean,
it's all about having everything at your fingertips. Like,
There was something about the pre-internet, bro. Like, going to school and your friend having that cheat code for that one game.
Oh yeah, man.
Man, it changed your experience playing that game when you went home that day.
I still
remember,
remember, man, when we got our Game Shark, me and my brother. And for Christmas one year, we got a Game Shark code manual. And you used to have to open them fucking booklets, man, and go and put those codes into your Game Shark to be able to activate them through the games. And I remember me and my brother would take like shifts and just insert every code in this fucking book, man. It was just that type of shit it was a sign of the times. And I'm sure kids, if they're watching this right now, are just like, all right, old dudes, let's move it along here. And we probably should. I want to talk about another end of a generation, though. How about the fact the PSP store has officially closed its doors, and the only
Rest in
thing
peace.
you can get for PSP content now is through the PlayStation store itself. So basically,
Pirate.
nothing exactly. Everything's pirated now. Nothing will ever be produced for the PSP ever again or the PS Vita. This is to me. Game Boy was huge. Okay, don't get me wrong. Game Boy, and when Game Boy Color came in, Game Boy Pocket, all that stuff was huge. But it pales in comparison to when we all found out they were coming out with a PlayStation Portable. I'm sorry, bro. This was like such a hot... Remember how hard it was to get a PS5?
Remember the hype? Yeah.
Dude, you know how hard it was to get a
PSP?
PS5? The hype was so big for PSP. It was so hard to get. And I've told this story before, but my wife worked an entire summer babysitting, okay, just to save up to get me one of these for my birthday. To this day, I it's funny. We make the joke every year. She says, "What do you want for Christmas?" And I say a PSP, only because it's the greatest gift she's ever given me, besides my kids. It's the greatest gift I ever got because I had no clue that she got it for me. So for my birthday, I thought it was.
That would have been. So
I just,
good.
I thought I was just gonna open up like a 360 game or some shit like that. I didn't know. I had no clue. I opened it up and I saw that giant, not giant, but it looked like a shoe box, like a skinny shoe box, and it was a PSP.
Wait.
What?
Hold on, you never told me the story. That's actually really funny. That's a coincidence because for Christmas, I'm sorry to cut you off there, but
No, that's okay.
that's exactly what happened with me. I remember for Christmas, I really wanted a PSP, and I remember they had a shoebox for me, and they were like, "Oh, open the, you got clothes." I'm like, I don't fuck clothes, And next thing I know, I open the shoebox, and it's the PSP. They had it in there, and I was like, wow. So that's kind of funny.
Well, it was like the PSP, the original PSP box would kind of look like the box you get like Nike slides in. They're kind of like a skinnier type of shoe box. Kind of like it almost looks like a skinny wine box or something. So when I opened it up and I seen like the PSP art and stuff on it, I just remember looking at her, like I almost cried. Like I was just like, how did you get one of these? And she had to go to Indianapolis to get it. She saved all of her money up for it.
I actually cried.
I mean, it was like, but dude, yeah.
I cried, but for the wrong reasons. I don't know if you remember what I told you what happened with the PSP.
I can't remember.
So I was so eager to play the game. I believe I got it was some racing car game, and I had gotten WWE 2007, I believe. Oh man, I was so ready and so hyped to play that game that I didn't read the instruction manuals. And I mean, usually the way that cartridge came or the CD came in, the UMD drive, I figured, you pop open that thing and you slide it in. Well,
right.
Here I am trying to break this thing open. I go ahead and I break it open and I put it in and I'm like, why isn't it working? Why isn't it working? And my uncle comes. He's 2 years older than me. He got a PSP as well. And he's just like, what are you doing? You shouldn't have done that. He's like, you broke it. I remember we spent the whole night trying to super glue it. I wanted to go back to Walmart and they wouldn't let me. I was crying the whole night. That night, I spent the whole night just playing in the settings.
Well, listen, that was easy to do even when you had games. That was kind of the point. And PSP was such a dramatic upgrade from anything they had at the time.
Anything that felt like the first premium handheld console. I mean,
what were we saying on the version that never got released? We were saying that that PSPs were the original smartphones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you could do everything on it.
You could go on the internet. You could upload your not your iTunes, but you could upload songs to it. You could upload photos from your computer to it. Like you literally.
They had movies for the PSP. They had TV shows.
They actually produced movies for the PSP. Like not like exclusive movies, but like. Just for instance, like Grandma's Boy or something.
It.
Yeah, they formatted it.
To the
they
PSP.
actually came without a case, like a game case, but it was a movie, and you added that to your collection. I had a few movies, I know for sure. I know I had, what was I'm trying to remember. I could see it in my head.
Spider-Man 2?
No. Shit, man, I really cannot remember. I know I had it, but as far as games went, I think we were obviously talking about this last time. God of War Chains of Olympus I played that game so much, man. I loved it. But let's be honest. The PSP was great. The PS Vita?
That's a different story, man.
Now you're talking about probably why we've yet to get, at least until the Switch came out with, the light and now what I have right over here by my TV. It took 10 years to get a competent handheld system again. Like, I'm not saying that the Nintendo DSs and stuff like that weren't good. They were very good. But they were not what PSP and PS Vita were.
No.
Okay, they just weren't. The problem with PS Vita from day one was the lack of games. And I got a Vita because I was like, oh my God, I want to relive the memories of like PSP and stuff like that. And then I was like, oh my God, they're coming out with God of War. What was the God of War? Why am I drawing Ghost of Sparta? I was like, dude, this game's going to be fucking amazing. So I got Ghost of Sparta. The game was amazing. That was it.
Did the PS Vita have Bluetooth?
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, they had that going for it, which okay.
They had
yeah.
that on the PSP too, by the way.
Right, I was about thinking that, but there was a lot of things that it dropped the ball on. It was the lack of games. You got to remember the screen was ass. Wasn't it like LCD, and then they finally upgraded it later on.
I just remember it
originally,
was so fucking
it was so
bright
washed.
sometimes.
Ugh.
It was so hard to see certain games, and I'm glad you brought that up because that game, Batman, the Arkham Origins or whatever it was, that was such a dark fucking game. You couldn't see what you were doing.
Oh yeah,
because the screen was
For the
so
small screen,
bad.
yeah. And then don't forget the memory card. What was it? You could only get the Sony branded one, which went for like $100 and something.
I don't.
For like
I honestly don't
32
know.
gig.
I only went off of the internal memory because I really only played Sparta. Honestly, the
Yeah.
Ghost of
Well,
Sparta
that was
it.
That was one of its demise and downfall was you could only get Sony branded cartridges, and they were
Right.
selling for hundreds of bucks.
Yeah, but it's almost like Sony was like, look, if we're going to even get this thing to survive, we can't allow them to buy aftermarket shit like you could for the PSP because they released an inferior product from day one with the Vita. They released it way too quick. It was like
It felt so cheap compared to the original
It's
PSP.
like they brought it into the research and development room, and they were like, I like that. Put it in a box and put it on the shelf. That's what it felt like. They didn't work any bugs out. They didn't ask people, like, PSP, you liked it, right? What can we do to improve upon it? They didn't do that because when the PSP is literally 10 times better than a PS Vita, which is your it's like the Xbox 360 compared to the Xbox One, okay? Historically, the 360 was 10 times more successful than the Xbox One. That's the same because Xbox 360 had better games. I think people liked the dashboard better. They liked the party systems better. There was just so many things that they did better with the 360 than they did with the almost said the 720 than they did with the one. I mean, back in the day, there was a rumor that it was going to be the Xbox 720. Yeah.
I mean, if in Real Steel, there's a movie. They had a Xbox 720 logo.
I bet. I mean, for a long time, that was what they were going to go with. But, just the Vita, I don't want to steer too far away in the conversation, but it was just like the Vita had so many awful games. Like, instead of having a version of like Batman Arkham Asylum, don't tell me you couldn't have ported Arkham Asylum to the Vita, because you could have, okay? Instead, you came out with Batman Arkham Origins, which was not a good game. It was barely playable.
That game sucked.
It was a horrible game. And then I was like, okay, well, at least they're going to have a Call of Duty game. They have to. And then they released that Call of Duty. It was like Call of Duty Black Ops, but it was like, I can't even remember what it was called. It was such a, look, can you look
the
that
fact
up?
that you don't remember the name.
Yeah, there you go. Let's just go off of that. I
says
can't
a
even
lot.
remember what the fuck the name was. It was so bad. And then they released I think they released an Uncharted game for it that was pretty good. I think it was Golden
believe so,
Abyss. And that game was actually pretty fucking tight. I remember having that. It was pretty good. But it was like, instead of
Call of Duty
porting...
Black Ops Declassified.
That's it. Oh, God, it was awful. Oh, man, did that game stink on ice, bro. But I remember Golden Abyss and Ghost of Sparta were very solid games. But in the the short lifespan that PS Vita had, they didn't have remember Fight Night on Fight Night Round 3 on PSP, just the boxing game? It was just like everybody simple games like that, everybody's like, "Oh my God, the game's so good, bro." And listen, while we're talking about GTA Remastered over here, how about the fact of Liberty City Stories that was released on the PSP?
Bro, that was your first taste of GTA on the go.
Oh, dude!
If you had a PSP, that's the game.
It was literally the first on the go legit GTA. Like Liberty City Stories. Me and my friends played that game so much. We were blown because I think at the time San Andreas had only been out for maybe not even a year. So that game was still super popular, and it was way more advanced. But it was like you could basically take Grand Theft Auto 3 or Grand Theft Auto Vice City with you. That's how Liberty City Stories were. Oh my God. It was, imagine, this is hard to believe, but Grand Theft Auto 3 came out, what is that noise?
I don't know.
Grand Theft Auto 3 came out 20 years ago. Think about that.
Man.
How ahead of the times Grand Theft Auto 3 was. 4 years later, you could take that shit on the go, and it was improved. That is why a lot of people are frustrated with the video game industry today, because I don't feel like we're advancing as much as we should be. I think we're getting too caught up with remasters and reboots, and they shouldn't even call it a remaster. They're literally sounds like they're just throwing a fresh coat of paint on it and saying, all right, it's remastered. No, it's not. That's like when a band re-releases their album and they just cleaned up the sound a little bit. Here, we're releasing Master of Puppets remastered. It's like, no, you didn't do it. You went and you got the original tapes and you just dusted them off, and now you want more money. Okay? That's what that is. But anyways, PSP for me holds a very special place in my heart, and I haven't really messed with the PSP store, obviously, in years, but it stinks to hear that last route is done.
I really hope that the new Nintendo Switch that comes out, which who knows when it's going to come out, has a more premium look and feel, just like the PSP had.
Well,
because
won't.
I've yet to find a handheld console that had that feel, that raw, just like premium feel.
Well, it won't, Gallo. Here's the thing. It's going to come down to the Steam Deck. Which,
that's going to be all.
By the way, I said this last time. I had that huge debate with D Moon and Gallo. I did reserve one. I got the 256. I did put in a reserve to get one. So hopefully the Steam Deck will be the 15 years later PSP.
Well, I hope it gets.
Can you believe that, bro? That the PSP came out in 2005.
Wow.
Yeah, I believe it. I remember the hype, the commercials were everywhere.
I mean, yeah, it's believable because we lived it, but think about that for a second. How advanced the console, or not console, but the handheld. 2005.
It's time.
You could probably, if you had better graphical games and stuff, you could release the PSP today, and people probably would almost be just as hyped.
I mean, remember, the iPhone didn't come out till 2007.
Yeah.
And like all the stuff that
and the
PSP
iPhones of 2007 is not the phones that we're holding in our hands right now. Mm-hmm. Okay? The PSP was literally the original
all
smartphone.
it could do was,
God.
Oh my God.
It was endless, bro. And then you could link up with your friends through Wi-Fi.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was just like, hey, get close to the router. We can play whatever together. I mean, it was just... Anyways, we got to move it along. We got another story here. This one's breaking my heart. I don't know if you guys seen this. We got some fresh news out of Camp WB. You guys ready for this?
So was this officially confirmed?
Margot Robbie may be forced out as the DC EU's Harley Quinn.
Let me just say this real quick. All I heard was that Margot Robbie was saying she doesn't know if she will ever...
No. That's when we originally filmed episode 2. That was the article. This came out 3 hours ago.
Oh, okay.
Before the Suicide Squad was released, there were reports making the rounds that Margot Robbie was planning on taking a break from playing the DCU's Harley Quinn. However, the actress debunked those false rumors herself after admitting that while she was jaded from shooting Birds of Prey and James Gunn's R-rated romp back-to-back, she was already raring to go again. However, the Suicide Squad might be one of the best reviewed installments of the franchise history, but it's poised to die a death at the box office after bringing in just $25 million in its opening weekend. Now, I'm going to boost the story ahead a little bit. It says, this will inevitably lead to much doomsaying and finger-pointing. But insider, it makes me sick to my stomach. Insider Grace Randolph. Ugh.
Oh, God.
Nothing, she is not anything inside except something that should be inserted inside her. Grace Randolph now offering up that admittedly unverified and uncorroborated rumor that the Suicide Squad's poor performance could end up with the Warner Brothers taking the role of Harley Quinn in a different direction. Quote, as for Harley Quinn, we already knew that Warner Brothers and Margot Robbie were planning to take a break with the character. I told you I heard because they wanted to see how she was received here, and well, now that it's starting to see, if she comes back, I do think there will be changes to how she interprets the character. So, They never should have given her that choice because she should have made it Gotham City. Anyway, Grace Randolph's doing what she does best. She's rambling. Although the article does say that it's a bit of a stretch lightly. After all, it was the studio who pushed for Gunn to include Harley in the Suicide Squad when the filmmaker asked what he had to do to keep from Ayer's opener in Suicide Squad. So basically, you're getting some mixed signals here. I don't know why. I mean, listen, WB is stupid. We know that. Letting Cavill go, who's going to be the next Wolverine. Let's just be prepared for that. Okay, Cavill's going to be the next Wolverine. Letting Harley Quinn go, who is easily just as much as a staple as anybody in that Justice League. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Ezra Miller, Ben Affleck, whoever it is. Okay, Harley Quinn is just as important to this universe as any of the people in this universe. Easily. Letting her go would be... I mean, I still think letting Cavill go is a death sentence. Let's be honest. But you let go Harley Quinn and you lose a good portion of the female audience, it's a death sentence. Plain and simple. What do you think, Awandi?
I agree that like she's probably their best character right now.
Yeah. All-around character, too. She's fun on screen. She's beautiful. I would say she's probably... I mean, she's easily the best casted Harley Quinn we could have gotten. She's perfect.
The way her character, like, the way she works so well off of others, no matter who it is. Oh, my God. That takes talent.
It does take talent. And there are times her accent slips a little bit, but Harley Quinn's not an easy character to tackle, and I think Margot Robbie tackled it as good as anybody could have possibly done it. But I got to tell you, if she leaves, I know my wife is a diehard DC fan, but she would be fucking crushed if Margot Robbie leaves the role of Harley Quinn. Especially, they're acting like, because the Suicide Squad's not performing well at the box office right now, this new fucking Delta variant, all these numbers have gone up with COVID. Of course it's not going to do great at the box office right now. We're almost literally entering the next major shutdown of a pandemic. Okay? This isn't... When Black Widow came out, there was not this big rise in cases and stuff. There are a lot of places that are starting to shut down again. So making $26 million on opening weekend, yeah, it's not great, but it's not because the movie's not good. Look at everybody talking about it. A1, you showed me a statistic of the number of people who viewed films released on HBO Max.
Yeah.
Do you by any chance... I'm trying my best to speak slowly to see if you can pull that picture up and let me know.
So just to get this clear, you're using the COVID excuse for
I'm not.
DC
It's not.
film?
I'm
Okay.
not using it as an excuse. I'm using it as a fact, because even you like the movie Dummy, okay?
I do.
So you know that
It's a shame.
What's going on right now, COVID is ramping up again. It is.
Yeah. No, it's true.
And it is hurting their box office. I'm not saying that if COVID wasn't happening, that film makes $200 million at the box office, right? It has $200 million. I'm not saying that. I don't think it even had 100, but it would have 50, 60, no doubt about it. Hey, Wanda, you got a number for me?
How much it's made? Right now, I thought it's $76 million.
At the box office?
Yeah.
This article... Go ahead.
Well, sorry, I read 4 days ago. It said here that it earned an extra $35 million, totaling up to $72 million at this moment. It's taking overall tally of $72.2 million.
Is that...
This was 4 days ago.
No, this is strictly at the box office itself, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so here's the number for me. I'm seeing $80 million. Yep.
Okay, so we're close. You're around 80. Yeah.
So $80 million right now. It's made back half of its budget, but apparently.
Well, it says here. I'm sorry. Variety says here. They spent 185 million to produce
Yep.
the film, and at least 100 million more on promotion efforts.
Correct.
Promotion.
I heard James Gunn say that it's probably more close to 300 million because they spent 100 for marketing. So they've made back half of their movie budget, and that number, it'll go up. You just got to give it time. The only problem is they have to actually leave it in theater because movies cycle out so quick nowadays. It's hard to give a film time because even Black Widow is still playing in my theater right now, and that movie came out a month ago.
Yeah. No, I was gonna mention. I was like, and what were the numbers for HBO Max? But I forgot they don't do the Disney route where they charge you $30.
Well,
for the film.
A1D had that number. He sent it to me.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
In general.
Oh, okay. Thank you, sweetie. Let me take a look at this. General shit. Okay. So,
Wow.
So this picture here, what I'm looking at, it's showing the best numbers so far on HBO Max. So the number one viewed film was Mortal Kombat at 3.8 million, which I have a hard time believing, but it
my
might be.
gosh.
I don't know. Godzilla
stunker.
versus Kong, a stunker. Kong and Godzilla did 3.6, and then the Suicide Squad coming in strong at 2.8 million. So let's just say cut that number in half. Go down to like 1.5. Because, 2.8 million people most likely wouldn't have gone to the theater if there wasn't a pandemic. But I bet at least 1.5 million would have gone, or even just 1 million. So you had 1 million more tickets sold. Yeah, I think you got quite a bit more at the box office. Okay? You have to filter in numbers. Is that true that Black Widow only did a 1.1 million on Disney Access or whatever?
Yeah. I mean,
well, I
they brought
guess
in like 60 million.
Yeah, but Disney Access is more expensive than HBO Max, correct?
$30. HBO Max is just you pay the subscription $15.
Dude,
That's it.
HBO Max kicks the dog shit out of Disney
Yeah.
Plus, bro.
HBO Max has been on point lately.
I actually have a hard time believing that the Snyder Cut did less than Wonder Woman 84, which was not a good film.
So hold on, these are all for the openings, right? Okay. So I wonder
Yeah.
how much they've how much.
Well, yeah,
views they've gotten after.
that's a great point. You know that Suicide Squad. I'm looking at the picture of it, and I want to go back and watch it again, like right now.
Mhm.
It's weird. Like I mean, it's not weird that I want to watch it again, but like, I had such not mixed feelings about like not liking it. It was just so different. I'm like, what did I just watch? But I want to watch it again. And now that Margot Robbie might get forced out, at least according to this article, but now you know what? It's all bullshit. It's being based around Grace Randolph, and she's a fucking con
Awandi,
artist.
was this like opening like week or
Yeah, it's
what was
opening
this?
week.
Okay,
Opening
so the fact that they got 2.8 million off of it beat other franchises like Wonder Woman, Black Widow, and Justice League. That says a lot about the film. That I think it would have done really well. And just to throw this in here real quick, I think the only reason why Justice League got 1.8 is just the fact that the movie was like 4 hours, so it took a lot of people. They weren't able to watch it that weekend. But I bet you it's gotten way more streams now.
You what? The Suicide Squad?
Yeah, I just think people couldn't watch it that weekend because 4 hours is a lot.
Wait, what? It wasn't 4 hours.
Wasn't
Yeah,
the movie?
the Justice League.
Snyder Cut.
Zack Snyder.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Suicide Squad.
No. I was talking about how well the Suicide Squad did. And then I just threw in real quick how the reason why I think Justice League was 1.8 million was because of the 4 hour runtime.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it was, and they broke it up into chapters for people
Yeah.
too. But still, I get what you're saying because it's like, yeah, it's easy. It's easier to set it around. Which, by the way, 2 hours 18 minutes. That felt like an hour with Suicide Squad. That movie did not
That
feel
movie
like
was
2
so
hours.
good.
But here, just for everybody that's watching the actual video here, that is the picture we were just going off of with. That A1D generously sent to us, Black Widow. I mean, listen, I'll give Marvel fans credit for going to the theater because I went and saw Black Widow, and we're going to get into that here, and we'll transition to that pretty quickly.
a woman.
But I went to the movie theater and saw Black Widow, and I went to like a 4:30 showing, and it was full, man. And there was a lot of people there to see it.
Really?
Again, we were, even a month ago, we were in a much different situation pandemic-wise. So, and I'm not giving full credit to, what was I going to say? Oh, to Suicide Squad not doing as well because of the pandemic, but you can't not filter it in. It clearly is having something to do with it. But speaking of box office numbers, I think it's time to go back to 1993. And I'm not going back in time like they did in Marvel's Endgame. I'm going back in time to relive something good.
Wow.
That was way too inside to be on this podcast.
Gosh.
Let's go back to 1993, Gallo, with Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's time for Past and Present, and today's past movie review is Last Action Hero from 1993. Gallo picked this to be a part of the show today. Would you like to explain why you thought it would be cool to make me suffer through this 1993? Come on, bro. It's Arnold, I get it, but let's tell us why you picked it, please.
Man, I thought this film was great growing up. I thought this film was amazing. And I think it still holds up to this day.
It does not. Don't agree, it does not hold up, bro. I watched it. This movie doesn't hold up at all.
I've just shot a man. I did it on purpose.
Oh my God. Hold on. I actually, when I watched this, I wrote this down because it was so embarrassingly bad. I wanted to write this down. Listen to this. Arnold, before he kicks a guy in the nuts, says, "You want to be a farmer? Here's a couple of acres."
Yeah, baby.
It is such a bad movie. But let's get into it. So, Gallo, why don't you explain to everybody the plot of this story and try to do it without laughing, because you know it's not exactly the easiest plot to get out there.
Oh, man. Okay, so, I mean, when did we watch this movie? I'm
just kidding. We don't really have to explain the plot, okay? This was
basically
they tried to make the next big blockbuster because Terminator 2 did so well. They wanted
the Willy Wonka of action films.
Oh my God. Did you just make that up?
Yeah.
That is an amazing way to explain this movie. It is the Willy Wonka of action movies, and not in a good way. This film was marketed to be so huge at the box office. It was supposed to be. That was the tagline. The tagline was the next big summer blockbuster.
Mm-hmm.
And while that may be a little tongue in cheek on purpose, they really did want to outdo Terminator 2. But their budget was $85 million in 1993. Now, at the box office, would you like to reveal the number, or do you not have it in front of you?
Oh man, I don't have it at this moment.
Okay, so I get the glory. So the budget was $85 million, and you know they probably spent another maybe, I don't know, 15, 20 on marketing. You never know. At the box office, it did $137 million.
Mm-hmm.
That is not exactly the next big summer blockbuster. As a matter of fact, just hold on. Let's just use this as a comparison. So Terminator 2 had a budget of 94 to 102. So we'll just say 102 million. It did, and I repeat. Well, I haven't said it yet, so I can't repeat it. $521 million.
Oh yeah.
That was just the year before. 2 years, I'm sorry. 2 years before, and it did $521 million. Again, Last Action Hero had a budget of 85 and it did 137 million. Let's be honest, Arnold Schwarzenegger in this film, while I love Arnie to death, even though he said screw your freedom, while I love him to death, he really mailed it in on this film. It really, you could tell halfway through he was like, this movie is going to suck. He just was so over it.
Now.
Oh yeah, and that stupid kid. I think we had this conversation as well last time. I think the movie suffered because the kid was so unrecognizable and not relatable. I thought the kid was stupid.
See your point.
And
then like the way you said, the way they marketed this film to be the next big Arnie film.
Yeah, they buried it with that. It'd be like, if Michael Jordan had a kid that was supposed to be the next Michael Jordan. He will never, ever be as big as Michael Jordan. No matter how much you build him up to be, he's not going to be what MJ was or be even close. So when you build this as the next big summer blockbuster, I don't think it's going to be.
And they didn't know what they wanted to do with the film because originally the producers and the director wanted an R-rated film. Then Arnie's like, no, I want to make a PG-13 film, but like a film, more targeted towards kids, but adults, kind of like a middle ground.
Right.
But then the way afterwards he didn't like the script. They had to redo it a couple times. Eventually, he thought he wanted an R rating instead, but they were like, studios like, no, we're gonna make it PG-13 now.
Oh,
And it just
my name is Jack Slater. I mean, come on, Jack Slater.
the video game was ass. The
Whoa, whoa, bro. Let's just pump the brakes for a second, okay? Let's get into the good part, okay? The good part was, first and foremost, I want you to listen to the bands that were involved in the soundtrack of this film. Are you ready?
Hit me.
To know something, you're a schmuck.
AC/DC, Alice in Chains,
Yeah.
Megadeth, Queensryche, Def Leppard, Anthrax, Aerosmith. Alice in Chains had 2 songs on this record, Tesla and Cypress Hill. That was just their soundtrack. So I don't care what your budget was for the film. How much money do you think they spent in getting this soundtrack prepared? Now
It wasn't enough to save the film.
No. Now, I remember having the soundtrack back in the day. I had it on cassette tape. I'm sure
Yeah.
it sold well. I'm not seeing any exact numbers for how well it sold, but it had to have at least sold 100,000 records. Anyways, as a kid, I remember playing the hell out of the video game. It was so simple. It was so easy. If you go on YouTube right now and you type in like Last Action Hero Sega gameplay, it will look very basic, yes, but man, I loved it. And we do need to bring up the fact, Gallo, that Last Action Hero, while it did perform very poorly in the theaters, it did get second life for video rentals.
That's where it got its cult status.
Yeah.
But we haven't even yet to mention. We've mentioned a lot of things that they did wrong,
Yeah.
and the toys, the marketing. We haven't even mentioned one of the biggest reasons why it failed and bombed the box office. What was it going up against, JB? Tell me.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Holy shit. Yep. It went up against Jurassic Park.
Exactly.
And the director even said, what was it? What was his
Who
name?
wants to watch a movie about dinosaurs, right?
Is that what it
Something
was?
like
Is that what he said?
Something like that.
We're not
You
going to
told me.
lose to a movie about dinosaurs. Yo, yeah, you're not going to lose to the Steven fucking Spielberg dinosaur movie, Jurassic Park, which has gone on to gross, what, a few $1 billion at the box office?
Yeah.
I mean, come on, bro. There's no way he could have had the foresight to see that Jurassic Park was going to do as well as it did. But to
And I
think
mean,
that it
wasn't
was
Steven Spielberg on a roll at the time
yeah,
as
but
well?
yeah, that's what I was going to say. You could have at least known that Steven Spielberg, up to this point, track record, probably a thumbs up. Should I go up against him with Last Action Hero, which everyone that was involved with the film knew that it had its flaws. Even Arnold mailed in his performance. They knew this movie was fucking trouble as soon as it went. It was almost like he had too much goddamn pride. It was like, oh, I'm gonna go up against Jurassic Park and we're gonna knock it out of the ballpark. No, it stunk. And the only reason this movie has the following it does, stupid people like Gallo, is because of how well it did on rentals. And it did.
Twister.
I remember. Hey! You watch your fucking mouth, bro. Twister is way better than Last Action Hero.
What are you gonna do? Put me in the suck zone? This sounded really. Never mind.
Oh my
Ignore that.
Twister is legendary, bro.
Oh my god, that was the most homoerotic statement I've ever heard. Are you gonna put me in the suck zone? Anyways, okay, I'm cooked. I don't even know where to go. This movie, I remember being,
Medium rare. Or...
I remember being in stores. Like Blockbuster and stuff like that back when I was a kid. I remember seeing Last Action Hero, like tons of copies on the shelves and stuff. I remember that back then. And, we rented Last Action Hero, the video game and stuff like that. But we ended up getting Last Action Hero like for a birthday or Christmas or some shit, because we actually owned it at one point, or hell, maybe we stole Blockbusters. I can't remember, but the film, I think. It's one of the rare cases where the film is so goddamn bad, but its soundtrack is legendary. The video game is legendary. What were we just saying before? It's like its failure is so legendary, so legendarily bad because it went up against Jurassic Park. Like everything surrounding the movie was better than the movie itself. Yeah. It's amazing. They spent so much money in trying to. Oh, I remember what you said. Toys.
You get it?
What'd you say?
Yeah, that's the Suicide Squad. The first one, 2016. Remember the trailers and everything looked great, and then the film came out. And
yeah, but the difference is this movie's trailer didn't look good. God, I wish I had my car crash sound effect. You fucking idiot. All right,
so we're talking about the toys.
I'm not bailing you out. Let's go ahead and rate this. Hey, Wendy, have you seen Last Action Hero? You got anything to say?
No, I've never seen it.
All right. Good for you, bro. Well, Gallo, you picked the film. I think you deserve to rate it first.
Gave it an 8.
You gave it an 8. Now, you gave Twister.
Yep. I also give it an 8.
Okay. I'm going to give Last Action Hero a 6.2.
That's fair enough.
I don't enjoy the film. It's not a part of my annual viewings every year. I would go so far to say it's probably... I've missed it multiple times watching movies of Arnie. Like, if it's on, I don't keep watching it. That's how bad I just didn't enjoy.
Wow.
Why does his fucking boot on the poster look so big, by the way? Like, his boot's the size of the Titanic.
And just like we were mentioning before on the Lost episode, I feel like he is kind of really the last action hero.
He is. We had a very long-winded discussion about no one has really rose to the occasion and become that Hollywood blockbuster star.
A somewhat modern version would be, The Rock, obviously, but
Dwayne Johnson would be...
Even him couldn't lace Arnold's big boot in this, picture. And he's a fucking wrestler, dude.
Yeah, wrestlers are cool, man.
Yeah, buddy.
But Arnold in the 90s was as big as any star can get. That's just a fact. No one was bigger than him.
Real quick, as I was looking up an article of the Suicide Squad, I just saw, I think it was an article by the New York Post. Do you know Stallone now has topped the box office for 6 decades now?
Wow.
No one cares about Stallone, bro.
Okay.
I'm an Arnie guy. Shut your mouth. 6.2
don't you
for
know?
me. 6,
Dude,
we gotta move along, man. Come on.
Hold on. I'm gonna just say this. Stallone has one of the best films, Terminator 2. But whatever.
Wait, who does? Stallone?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you did there.
Okay,
that was actually pretty clever in the film. I'll give it that. Because Arnold, that was eating his ass up when he's seen that poster of Stallone on the cover of Terminator 2.
Is that like grape? What is that? Grape juice? Grape?
Ocean spray, cran grape, baby.
Oh, like you. Oh, so you love Dogface, right? The guy.
No, you said that because I hate that fucker. Oh my God, he ruined Fleetwood Mac. He ruined Ocean Spray, cran. He drinks cran raspberry. I drink cran grape. What's up?
The cran.
Oh.
All right, we got to move it along. That was our past, and now it's time for the present.
Yeah, it was.
Ladies and gentlemen, our Black Widow, our official Black Widow review. Are you prepared to rock? All right, anyways. I mentioned earlier in the show that I went and saw this in the theater. Gallo, being such a good MCU fan, decided to torrent this. And yeah,
they're not condone piracy.
You watched it. Now, Wanda, you saw it as well.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the theatre and watched it. Now, before we start digging in, okay, I do want to say I didn't not enjoy the film. I actually had a pretty fun time watching the film. I thought Scarlett Johansson was very good in the film. I'm a big supporter of ScarJo. Even when me and Awandi was having the very passionate discussion about how she's over-sexualized and stuff like that in Black Widow. And I agree. She is very over-sexualized. But again, comic book readers, 99% of them are males. And female characters, and I'm not saying it's right. I don't want to come off that way. I don't think that all female characters should be. I don't think necessarily any of them should be sexualized, but men will sexualize them regardless, because for one, we're horny and we like hot chicks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like Batgirl. I mean, growing up, Batgirl to me was always just like, oh my god, Batgirl's so hot. But
Alicia
like
Silverstone, right?
Yeah, Alicia, is it Silverstone? Yeah, Alicia Silverstone. I always just thought she was hot. But I was talking about the comic. I always thought Batwoman, or not Batwoman, Batgirl in the comic was always like hot and stuff. But
I am a woman.
don't even. I knew that was coming. But so Black Widow, was it good? Was it bad? There's a lot of stuff to talk about it. Gallo, first impressions.
It was okay.
Okay,
That's all I gotta say.
That's fair.
I mean, like
I really expected you to put up more of a fight, but I think
no. I mean, we've had the discussion already. I felt like it did
Yes,
what
we
it
have.
needed to do. I felt like it did what it needed to do. It wasn't gonna rock the masses. It wasn't going to reinvent the genre. Like we said, this film was supposed to come out 4 years ago.
right,
3 years ago,
and
2016.
people worship this film, even though Black Widow made it to the Avengers film and never got her standalone movie. Hey, A1, do you remember when Justice League came out and everybody was shitting on DC because Batman didn't have his standalone movie, Flash didn't, Cyborg didn't? Remember that?
Yeah.
Everybody was like, oh my god, DC is so, they don't know what they're doing. They're not giving them their own films. What about Black Widow? It took them almost 11
that's-
years. No, hold on, bitch. I'm not done. It took them almost 11 years to release Black Widow's standalone film. I don't care if it came out in between. When does this take place? Right after Civil War, correct?
Right after, yeah.
Okay, so it's like, yeah, even retrospectively, like, why is this coming out? If it did happen after the end of Civil War, why is it coming out after Endgame? Why? And why are fans like, are Marvel fans such simp that they just take whatever product is put in the doggy bowl for them?
No, it just shows you how much Disney and the MCU cares about female characters.
That's a fair point, and I do want to give credit to Warner Brothers and Zack Snyder for making sure and showing just how important a female character in a world of superheroes is, because Wonder Woman is hands down the best female superhero film ever made.
They really dropped the ball on that second one, but that's...
I will absolutely 1000% agree with you. My wife is a diehard Gal Gadot and Wonder Woman fan. She has seen Wonder Woman so many times I can't even count. She was, and I as well, very disappointed with Wonder Woman 84. For one, it could have been about an hour shorter. And two, it just did not have the right villains in it. Anyways, we need to talk about Black Widow. We need to talk about Black Widow. But I was just trying to say is, I agree. I don't think Marvel has much respect for female characters because they actually, in Endgame, had to have this awful scene where all the women came together helping each other. We all stand together. That was one of the cringiest things in film I've ever seen. And I've seen Elektra. You know what I'm saying? They don't have enough respect. They will now, because now they're making the female Thor or whatever. Now they realize they have to get female characters of importance in there. DC has always made sure female characters were important. In the second Batman film, you had Catwoman, which I will say is one of the most overrated performances of any superhero movie. Michelle Pfeiffer is Catwoman. I didn't like it. I don't know why everybody else likes it. It doesn't even make sense. Although I take that The worst female character of all time was the Catwoman movie. That's just like possibly the worst fucking movie of all
That
time.
wasn't even like it wasn't even faithful to the fucking thing.
And to be fair, neither was Batman Returns. Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman was terrible. But the fact that what's her name? Why am I drawing a blank? The
actress who played her?
Actress who played Catwoman in Catwoman. Halle Berry.
Oh, Halle Berry.
When Halle Berry goes to the bar and orders milk because she's a fucking cat, I almost threw up. But
Doesn't she have like a different name as well? Like it's not even the same.
dude, bro, I don't know. I saw it once and fucking just threw it into the lake. That movie deserves to be tied to a chain at the bottom of the lake. It's so bad. But
it stunk on ice.
yes, it did. However, Black Widow did not stink on ice. I thought
not.
there was a lot of things wrong with Black Widow, but I don't think it was enough to make the movie a bad movie. I think there are many things we're going to discuss, but let me go down a chart I have here of certain things. First of all, I want to talk about the villain Taskmaster, the fact that they had to have a male as the stunt double, and then they had to basically screen in the female into the suit. Because when you see at the end the daughter or whatever the guy is, when she's actually in the suit, it looks like a kid. It looks like a kid in a Halloween costume. It doesn't even look right. But the actor who played Taskmaster, the stunt double, that dude's a beast.
Like I wish he would have been the character that we saw.
The first 20 minutes of that movie when Black Widow on the bridge or whatever, and Taskmaster like fights her. That scene is
has
really
the best fights in the movie.
It's really epic, man. Just that first scene on the bridge, that was awesome. But can we talk about how awful the Taskmaster suit's coloring was? Like it was like a Power Ranger suit. Like Taskmaster is a part of the same program that the Black Widows are a part of. They're in gray and black. Why is Taskmaster in why does he look like he's wearing a fruit roll-up? I'm sorry, why does she look like she's wearing a fruit roll-up? Why just make the suit black and gray? Off? It would have looked, because it's a woman. Sorry.
I'm talking about like the suit. Remember we talked about the bottom?
Right.
Looks way different from the upper torso. I'm just saying, like even like when the guy's in the suit, it just looks off.
Yeah. Well, I actually thought that the helmet was too big. I thought the helmet looked like a gigantic storm. If you go back and you see a total overall body shot, you're going to start noticing the head. The chest was puffed out. It reminded me of the first Shazam suit, where like Zachary Levi had the giant pecs, and
it looked like it was like
he wasn't filling that suit out. You know what I mean? But the new suit for Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods, looks great. But so that was pretty annoying to me. What is loser? Why did I write down loser?
I have no idea. But anyways, I know that in this film, another thing that I did not like was the way the neuroreceptors or something, like he had a pheromone where they couldn't touch her. So you're telling me you couldn't like snipe him from somewhere? Or you couldn't just
that's a good point. Why couldn't they just hit him with a sniper rifle? Are you telling me once the bullet gets to him, it just goes away?
That's what I'm saying. And if, why not have Taskmaster go or work for like what's his name, the head of the government at the time? Why am I drawing a blank here? You know what I'm talking about, right?
No, bro, you're Dr. MCU. You're making a really bad showing right now.
The Incredible Hulk guy?
Yeah, exactly. Ross. Ross.
Agent.
Wow.
Agent Ross. Well, come on, he's not that big a prominent character. But anyways.
Right? Then why are we talking about him?
Well, because he's
Go ahead. Discord.
I'm saying that they should have had him working trying to get Black Widow. But the fact that they made Taskmaster like the daughter of...
I still don't know that fucking guy's name. I call him Harvey Weinstein. Because
it did resemble him a lot.
A lot, bro. I'm telling you, they literally made
the way
that
they
Harvey
did
Weinstein.
The girl scene, like in the beginning where they just have them all in the crates. It looked very Epsteinish. It looked really weird.
It was-
I thought I was watching. I thought I was watching a different film. Like if you see the
Dude, they
beginning where
even
the
said
dad.
that this movie was made possible because of the Me Too movement. The Me Too movement was based around the accusations and crimes of the absolute, to the highest degree, piece of shit Harvey Weinstein. I agree. But you are not going to sit here and convince me that the model for that villain was not Harvey Weinstein. That's who that was supposed to be. And
Can you?
go ahead.
I was gonna say, if you were to go back and watch the film Black Widow, the first 5 minutes of the 5 minutes of the film, it looks really weird. Like if you didn't give anybody like context of what this film is, and they just go like with no knowledge of it,
Right.
you're gonna think this is like a film about like some pedo or something. Because the way the dad just comes in, he's just like, if you come, there's candy. And then, like, they're running away from the cops. It looks very weird, and they get put into crates. Like,
I will say this film was all about making men look bad.
yeah.
Let's be honest. It was about denigrating the men. And one thing I have written down here in my notes is I really hated, what's the daughter's name?
Yelena.
Yelena. The point when
The posing thing. You didn't find that funny.
I didn't find that funny.
I didn't.
That
really
was
either.
cringe.
It
Bro.
was, yeah, I thought it was very cringe. As a matter of fact, even in the theater I was in, people were just like, it wasn't really that funny. But Red Guardian, the moment where Yelena was like upset when they were all sitting at the table and she went into the room, and they really made a mockery out of the father-daughter connection moment that's supposed to be in the film there. They really just made Red Guardian out to be a dumbass that she didn't want to
But they
talk
made
to.
the mother look. Yeah.
Oh, they made the mother look like fucking
Look
Mother
amazing.
Teresa, of course.
Like I was waiting for that Red Guardian scene where he just like almost like hulks out.
He
you know,
never
and the
got a
suit comes
moment.
out.
Let's talk about
Yeah.
that. He never got a redeeming moment. He was the like the idiot of the film. The entire what is with this tension? Like the dude is a funny guy. The actor who plays him. I'm drawing a blank. What's his name?
David Harbour.
David Harbour from Stranger Things. He did a good job as the character. Unfortunately, he stands for that type of shit just as long as he's getting a paycheck. But the fact of the matter
Yeah,
is,
'cause
it
now he's
made
getting
men
his,
look, they made men look
spinoff.
so bad in this movie. Spinoff? What the fuck's he gonna do? Stomp on ants? Like this guy is supposed to be the Russian fucking Captain America.
Captain America.
He's so stupid he couldn't beat a chick in a Power Ranger outfit in Taskmaster. Dude, when in the theater, or not the theater, but in the trailer, they made it look like Red Guardian was gonna have this epic fight scene with Taskmaster. He got his fucking ass kicked for 10 minutes until Yelena and Black Widow got there. He got his ass kicked. What's the spin-off series going to be? How he has to... Is it going to be like The Dark Knight Rises where he has to climb out of a fucking hole and re-break his back again? Like, he was a horrible character. And that's the Russia... Dude, Russia has to be pissed. That's our... This is out of Captain America. He can't even beat up a woman. Like,
I hate how they throw. I hate how they throw in like these weird like overpowered moments, or like I don't want to say this. Like you see the tech the mom used to where they had like some type of mask, and all it was like a little. I don't know
Oh,
what you call it.
right, because she swapped with Scarjo.
But it was like a thin like mask. It was so weird. But the thing is, you'll never see that again like in the MCU.
No, it was well. First of all, it was a Mission Impossible ripoff to the 10th degree. That's what it was. It's the female. What are they called? A1D. What's the IMF or whatever? In Mission Impossible, isn't it IMF, the company that Ethan works for? Anyways, the IMF is like they just ripped everything off from them for Black Widow, which is fine. You're like, I'm not. It's not fine that they ripped him off, but Mission Impossible can't have the only secret assassin organization in filmmaking. I understand that. But like the face swapping? Come on. What are we doing? It's a clear set ripoff. But
What did you think? I know it's like small, but what did you think of the Smell Like Teen Spirit cover?
you know what? You're talking about, because the movie started with that, right?
Yeah.
I actually didn't hate it.
Thought it was okay.
I actually, as I was hearing it, I was just like, hey, this is, it's kind of setting the mood. You're kind of setting the mood a little bit. I don't hate this. But then the movie started, and dude, the first scene when they're trying to escape in the little fucking plane or whatever. Yes, when David Harbour flips the fucking truck, I was like, What the? It was some of the worst CGI I've ever seen. They had better CGI in the 2003 Hulk film. I mean, dear God Almighty. I think they had better CGI in Elektra.
Don't talk about that film.
Well, I mean, dude, there was an era of Marvel films in the early 2000s. Yikes. I mean, if it wasn't for X-Men and Spider-Man, I don't think you have the MCU today. But the film, listen, we're having fun shitting on it. I'm really not an anti, like, woman being power. I am very happy with powerful female characters. Mm-hmm. Wonder Woman is the most powerful. She is the face of feminism. She was the original feminist for in superhero comics and stuff. But it was never shoved down your throats.
Look at Ellen Ripley. Foreshadow.
What are you doing? Why even bring that up?
I'm saying that we love women.
Yes, we do, but I'm being serious here. I'm saying strong female characters when not forced. Like, for instance, Black Widow. She is a very powerful female character, but this movie just made her into, like, I don't know, as a guy seeing this film, at least I think a guy with any set of pride or morals has to be like, oh, why am I just, like, feeling like a piece of shit watching this movie? Like, why am I, like... Why are they just trying to bring us down to the point where we feel this big? And I remember the critics were saying this puts men in their place, right?
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't that? Mm-hmm. This puts men in their place. Mm-hmm. And it's like, well, men don't need a movie to put women in their place because not one superhero movie think of The Dark Knight Rises with, what's her name? Who played Selena.
You're talking about Anne Hathaway, the girl
Anne
who
Hathaway.
loves to virtue. What is it called?
Virtue Signal?
Yeah.
Yeah. Her character in that movie never felt like she was way more powerful than Bruce. There were times she upscaled Bruce, but it never felt like, oh, she's putting men in their place. What is that? Why is that? That's just the climate we live in nowadays. This movie could have been so much better if... I'm sorry, this is going to sound bad if they actually had one decent moment with a male character. This movie, it's like this movie wasn't made for a dude.
It wasn't made for white males.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah, it wasn't made for... What about her helper or whatever? That's not a white male. Who's that guy? He looks Puerto Rican or whatever. The guy
you're right. Yeah.
And it makes him look like a fool. Remember, like, oh, you're a sensitive little boy. And it's like, oh, dude, what are you doing? But it's like, I'm not saying every superhero movie has to have a strong male character. I'm not saying that. I'm saying this film could have benefited from a strong male character. And I think a lot of movies work better when you have strong characters of both sexes. I mean, you think, dude, Justice League is not a movie worth watching without Gal Gadot. Period. That's how important she is to the Justice League. There are many characters. Well, I mean, I was going to say Underworld, but that's literally the main character. But there are just movies with female characters in it that are a necessity, and they're not shoving down your throat. This is a strong female character. I just want everybody to know that. Just so everybody knows, Black Widow is a strong female character. Okay? I just want everybody to know.
She don't need no man. She don't need no man.
Golly, man.
Okay. Here's the point. Do you think the Suicide Squad would be good without Harley Quinn?
No. That's a great point. Suicide Squad would not be... It wouldn't be good at all for... well, the first one wasn't that great to begin with. But what is that movie without Harley Quinn? Mm-hmm. What is the Suicide Squad without Harley Quinn? It's not nearly as good. And I'm not saying Alba and Cena wouldn't still have made... I can't remember the actor who played Captain or Colonel Flag. I can't remember what his name was, but he's great too. He was in Suicide Squad. And he was great in that. Like him, Will Smith as Deadshot, and Harley carried that film. The same with this. I thought that Idris Elba, Cena, Colonel Flag, and Margot Robbie carried the film. But the film would not be shit without Margot Robbie in it.
Did you not like Ratcatcher 2? People thought she was the heart of the film. I'm just saying. I'm not saying I said that, but people were saying that.
I'm not saying that. Heart of the film, my fucking dick. She controls rats, bro. All right? Good for her. Like, you control fucking rats, all right? I don't give a shit. Good for you. But the point is, that movie, that's a great counterpoint. Without her in the film, I think it's still a great film. Without Harley in the film sucks.
So do you think a lot of people are saying this really wasn't a Black Widow film? It was more of a Yelena film. Do you agree with that?
Well,
or do you
people
think...
turned it into that. You want to know why? Because everybody's like, look how beautiful Yelena is. She stole the film. Oh, my God. She's like, it's like, wait a minute. So
the amount of
she's the
Yelena
next
stan
big
accounts
thing
on
because
Twitter?
of how pretty she is. It wasn't about how, because to be honest with you, I thought she had a pretty shallow character. Sorry. I'm
It
not
really
trying to be a
was.
Marvel character or a Marvel hater. Pretty shallow fucking character.
There wasn't much to it.
No, it was just a Black Widow with less backstory. It's really what it was. And I'm sorry, everybody was like, oh my God, Yelena is the next big thing in the MCU. Oh my God. It's like, yeah, she was a character. I'm sorry, I lost all faith in her when she was like, you do this pose where you're like, and she's like whipping her hair back and forth. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I know the joke about the superhero entrance. I get that.
Yeah.
But
I
that
mean, we
was
got that
so
already with Deadpool, bro.
cringy, bro.
We already got that joke with Deadpool. There was, you know
Yeah,
what I mean, and he did
that's
it
a
better.
good point. Yeah, Deadpool, which I would be the biggest liar if I said that I didn't enjoy the Deadpool movies. Like, you can't be a comic book fan and not enjoy those.
I'm saying they did it
They
better.
made the joke and made it funny. That Black Widow, this movie, made the joke, and I was in my seat eating popcorn, just like, oh God, go away. I can't do it. I can't look at the film. So as of this moment, now, Gallo, when we originally talked about this movie, the numbers were way, way different. Now, this movie debuted, was it, I can't remember exactly when it did.
Originally, it made 60 million.
No.
On
I was
Disney
trying to see
Plus.
when it exactly. Oh, that's a way better poster for the film than I used. June 29th. Jesus, it came out. The better happened. Yeah, June 29th. Oh, I'm sorry, July. June 29th was the world premiere, and then July 9th in the United States. So it's been out for a month. And the numbers were different back then. So the budget was $200 million, and it's done $361 at the box office. So good for them. They're probably close to getting their budget completely in the black because you know they spent $200-300 on marketing. That's what Marvel does. Whatever their budget to make the film, they equal that out, or they double that, not double it. Whatever they made as the budget, they are going to spend the same amount in marketing. So
Yeah, plus like the movie was supposed to be released like a year ago.
true.
Pushed it back.
That's true. So
Yeah, because Dummy saw it a year ago.
oh my God, what an idiot. So I talked about that on episode 1, but anyways, I don't know the numbers or anything like that, but I do know that obviously the box office numbers isn't going to include the Disney Access or whatever numbers and stuff like that, which I'm sure it did very well. But the film is a success. There's no doubt about it. This is not some huge summer dud or anything like that. I just think the film itself is super overhyped. I'm not even saying it's bad. I'm not saying I wouldn't watch it again.
It depends what you say on success, because it really didn't hit what they wanted. And I mean,
Yeah, but dude,
lawsuits
we're in the
ensued,
middle of a
so-
pandemic. They're not going to make another $1 billion film. They're not going to get $1 billion. They're just not. They had to have known that going in. But
Yeah,
it's
but,
probably
I mean,
it's probably
it's
not
shady
making
practice
what they
on their
wanted.
end.
If they wanted
It's
$1
shady practice
billion
on
and
their
they're
end.
only at 360, yeah, you're right. That's not even close to what they wanted. They probably want to be like, okay, we were shooting for $1 billion. Hopefully, we can get half. But I don't even think you're going to get that.
But I mean, we gotta admit it. I mean, it beat Fast 9. It beat Quiet Place 2. It beat the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, but bro,
mean,
you can't compete with something like A Quiet Place 2. I mean, it's a horror movie, bro. I'll give you Fast.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just telling you. Like right now, these are the films that post-pandemic era. I mean, even though we're kind of in pandemic still, that have been upping the box office charts recently. And right now, Black Widow sits on top.
Yeah, I mean, I think Fast 9, which I've heard is not a good film.
I loved it.
But still,
Cena was great.
Did you actually like it? You saw it?
Yeah, I really did like it.
And
actually.
Cena was
But
good
it's
in it?
'cause- Yeah, but it's like, you gotta have like those type of films though.
Is The Rock in it?
No. No.
Well,
He's
because
mentioned how he's not going to be in any more films.
yeah, well, I was getting at. They said that he wasn't coming back. But anyways, let's go ahead and rate the film Black Widow. Gallo, you had the honors last time, so let's give let's give you first crack at rating this film.
Crack that towel, baby.
Out of 10,
Yeah.
I love towels, mate. And out of 10, I'd give it like a 6.5.
That's very fair. I'm kind of in the
Okay.
same range. Would you say 6.5?
Yeah.
That's pretty fair, man. I'm probably I'm gonna match that. I'm gonna say 6.5 is about as fair as I can be.
And I gave it a 6.
Well, you're also an MCU fan, so you're probably a little more critical of how much you hold it up over your other films. Plus, you guys are coming off your big, I know it's Endgame, but you guys are coming off your big finale with Endgame. So at this point, that's your bar, is what the Avengers did. And so that, unfortunately, that's what's going to be your bar going forward. So we'll see what they can do in Phase 4. And
What's funny about, just a quick little thing about Fast 9, they had their own little like Endgame or Infinity War type of like thing.
I'm sure
like
they
in
did.
that film, they had a basically like recurring characters all come in. It was just so weird, but yeah.
Well, I do
Just
know,
something that-
at least from what I've read, that Fast 10 is supposed to be the last in the franchise.
Well, it's actually going to be like a Harry Potter type of deal where they split it into 2 films. So it's actually going to be 10 and
God.
11. So there's another one after that. And
You
then
know,
that's it.
bro, I remember when this movie first came out, Fast and the Furious, way back in the day. If you would have told me back then that they were going to come out with 10 films, I would have been like, what? It would not have made any sense to me. And the movie back then was great, but to say that it was, and to become what it is,
It's
it
the
was
most-
just a street racing film. And now it's become Mission Impossible.
Bro, it's the most ridiculous movie I've seen.
Go, Monica!
Menage.
All right, well, we got to get to the last segment of the show here today. It is time for the Pick'em segment. That's where we're given whether it's two franchises, 2 characters, 2 whatever, and we have to pick which we would take or leave. So with this, the Pick'em, Gallo, you got to choose the film and the Pick'em this week, and you went with
Yeah.
Predator or Xenomorph.
It can be, and since we have a special guest, how about we ask Kawandi? Let's start it off like that.
Okay. Now, first of all, let me ask A1D before he makes his decision. Have you seen Predator 1 and 2?
I haven't seen any Predator movie.
Huh?
You haven't seen the first Predator film?
I haven't seen any Predator movie
Wow.
or Alien or whatever.
Huh?
I've never seen these movies, bro.
Wow.
You're,
But I know
you're
of,
fucking with us.
I swear
What
to
do you-
God, mate. I know of the Predator though.
Oh, you know of him. Well, that's good.
What are you talking? Dude, you really haven't seen a film? I mean, what? Who are you? Some guy in Boston named Guzzy? Like, do you not watch films?
Wait, have you seen Shrek?
Oh,
Of course, bro.
God.
Oh my
You own a pair of
God!
Crocs?
He's another
Do you-
Guzzy!
Do you own a pair of
No,
Crocs,
I
bro?
do.
Yeah, do you own a pair of white Crocs that you wear all the time?
What a lame.
Cuzzy with his white Crocs, watching Shrek with a glass of apple juice. Oh my God! I want to punch you right
Oh
in
my
your fucking
God.
face right now, A1D. I am so
That's
disappointed.
just as bad as eating like a cheesecake with red wine watching King Ryan or something.
Oh,
That is no. That's not weird.
Okay.
I'm just saying, bro.
Keep telling yourself that.
I would pick the Predator though.
No, you're not allowed. You're not allowed.
No, I want to hear this. Like,
I
why
know the
would you pick the
Predator, bro.
Predator?
Yeah, okay.
In terms of looks or
Because he's
like, what is it
cool.
for you?
It's like it makes the same sound as my farts. First of all, and I like
He said that so seriously.
Yeah.
He's like, "Well, it sounds like my farts. First of all, second of all,
Yeah, I know. I heard him. He didn't have to.
all right,
Camouflage. What they call it?
camouflage,
Camo-
camouflage." Is that what they use in Abu Dhabi? They use instead of camouflage, they use camouflage.
Yeah.
I just picture like the 80s cartoon where like these two guys are in like
my
a camel
God.
suit.
I can't breathe. I like that they use camouflage.
Camouflage.
Yeah, and he has lasers or something. I don't know.
Oh my God! Shut up.
He has a lightsaber, bro.
His justification was sounds like his own farts. He gets to use camouflage, and he's got lasers or something. That was his justification in picking Predator.
Yeah.
Let me have the floor for a second, if you don't mind, Wandy. I grew up worshiping Predator, obviously because of Schwarzenegger. The Alien films are great. I'm one of the rare people, maybe not the rare people. Wow. Whoa.
What do you mean, people?
Hope no.
Voice crack.
You just had to. How long have you been waiting for me to say people on this?
Oh, good while.
At least A1, he caught on to what happened. I'm not going to say what happened, but
Okay.
you know, I grew up worshiping the Predator films, but I am one of what I thought was one of the rare people, but it might be more commonplace. I actually think that Aliens, the sequel, is better than the original Alien. Because Aliens became more of an action film as to where Alien was more of a sci-fi horror thriller. And I'm not taking anything away from it. It's great. It's a great film. But Predator, to me, is the end-all, be-all action movie. And that is a man's movie, okay? Predator is just a movie that is nothing but action from start to finish. It's got a great cast. Obviously, we love Jesse. Why am I drawing a blank? Last name, Jesse Ventura. He's great in the film.
Huh? I said, of course.
Yeah, Jesse does.
I got time to bleed.
I ain't got time to bleed. I'm like a sexual tyrannosaurus. You know, just everything about the movie, like, was very special to me. Now, the first rated R film I ever saw was Terminator 2, but Predator followed
All right, bro,
up.
you don't got to mention it every time.
Predator followed pretty soon after that. And for years, I kind of struggled with whether or not which film was better than the other, but obviously I've settled on Terminator 2. But the Xenomorph is a very cool villain, and it's a lot more scarier than the Predator. But Gallo, we mentioned this last time. I still think in the first Predator film, the scene that holds up so well is when Arnold is fighting the Predator at the very end, and he pulls off his shield, his mask shield, and he's standing in the water looking for Arnold, and then his talons or whatever come out, and his mouth opens. Right there it is.
You an ugly motherfucker.
Yes, that scene right there. But when he's standing in the water, like, I kind of get cold chills to this day when I see that scene because it's actually kind of fucking creepy.
Yeah, and I mentioned to you that how, you know, a lot of times you kind of lose the mystique and the scariness factor of a character when they get unmasked. You know,
Right.
Look at I mean, I can't think of many examples, but
Jason,
look at, like, you know,
I mean, Jason's not as scary.
look at what's his name from the Star Wars the sequels, Kylo Ren. You know, as soon as he took off that mask, he looked so dumb.
He
But
did.
when you see
He lost his
Predator,
badassery when he took off the mask in the first film.
like, keep it on.
Yeah.
But with the Predator, like the way
Like, keep
they
it
made
on.
it so the way he took off that mask, it was even more menacing.
Yes, it was.
And not many films, not many characters can do that.
Right.
Where and then if it still fits, it doesn't seem out of character.
It added to the
works.
overall like mystique of the character, the
Mhm.
overall horror of the character. It and like you said, it didn't take anything away as to where in the past in filmmaking it really took a lot away. I mean, Jesus, Jason Voorhees didn't even get his hockey mask until the third film. In the second film, he was wearing a goddamn potato sack on his head. And when you finally see him,
This wasn't tell.
Oh,
can
Jesus.
I get a car crash from somebody? I mean, Jesus. Was that a queef? That wasn't a car crash. What?
I don't know what that was, Wandy. What was it?
It's weird. It's like you stepped on a dog.
Oh.
But if I had to pick one, I got to go with the Predator, man. I got to go with the Predator.
You got to remember, this question was originally you got Xenomorph up there, but it was Predator versus Alien. This was more like the first two films because remember this.
I didn't know that.
We mentioned this because I was saying
I don't remember that.
no, because we're talking franchise wise. That's a different story.
Franchise-wise is a different story. I actually thought we were just picking overall villains, but so I guess. Okay, do you prefer the enemy Predator or Xenomorph? Which one do you prefer out of being an enemy?
Oh, Predator.
Okay, so we all have chosen Predator
it's in the
being the
name.
better villain. So let's go to, I guess, what I misunderstood. Predator versus Alien. Which is the better film? See, I think when you do that, you make it even more unfair because I don't even think it's close.
Well, of course, it's Predator.
Yeah, it's Predator by a mile. Now, if you did Predator versus Aliens, that's way more of a fair. I still think Predator takes the cake, but Aliens is a much better representation of the genre that Predator is in.
And if we do Alien versus Predator 2, Alien takes the cake.
Yeah, if Aliens goes up against Predator 2, it's not even.
Yeah.
Luckily they stopped making Predators after that, but they did Alien 3, what was it, Resurrection?
Mm-hmm.
Which was dog shit. And then
What's the one? What's her name? Another writer.
I don't know.
Was it that one? Wasn't it that Resurrection?
I can't, dude. I haven't seen that movie in so long. And then they went down the AVP route, and those films,
those.
Listen, I'm a sucker for the first Alien vs. Predator, but that I actually went to the theater and saw Requiem, and I remember I wanted to throw up. It was so bad. It was just such a terrible movie. And then they stopped making them, and then we're kind of in reboot phase because they came out with Prometheus, and then they came out with Predators. So overall,
Did you watch Prometheus?
Yeah, I liked it.
I like Prometheus.
Prometheus was good. But overall, when you compare franchises, villains, just
Aliens.
No.
Huh?
No.
Oh, go ahead.
Wait a minute. You think with Alien 2 and Alien 3, you think that's a better franchise than than Predator and Predator 2?
I mean, the only Predator film that was good was the first one. Predators, maybe that comes in like second. Predator 2 sucked, bro.
I won't disagree that Predator 2 wasn't a good film. I guess Alien and Aliens does carry the franchise to being a better overall franchise. But I still think Predator is so good that one movie is better than 3.
Yeah, but how do I want to say it? Not bang for your buck, but it has more films, so that overall I would say it's a better franchise.
Yeah, but here's the question you have to ask yourself: would you rather, if you have 2 box sets, you either have Predator and Predator 2, or you have the entire Alien box set? Which one do you think you're going to end up watching the most?
Well, yeah, I guess Predator.
So I mean,
I own the film.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, you have to break it down.
Baby, let's go.
Which one's going to have the most rewatchability? And in the end, you're going to watch Predator way more than you're going to watch any of the Alien films. You may actually watch Predator 2 more than you watch Alien 3.
I don't know about that, but
Well, it is a sucky movie. I won't lie. That is. I remember.
Well, to be fair, I haven't.
Do you
watched
remember when Moon
Predator
goes,
3.
"Oh, we got to watch Predator 2. The movie's badass, bro," and I go, "No, it's really not. I think you have some weird special you know, I don't know if you've just kind of romanticized it over the years, but he was like, no, bro, that film's great. And then we watched it that one night, you remember? And it was so bad, bro. I don't care if
we didn't even give commentary. That's how bad it was.
It was so bad. Danny Glover was in it. Bill Paxton was in it. That's my specialty. He couldn't even save the movie. By the way, R.I.P. to Bill Paxton, only actor in history to be killed by a Terminator, a Xenomorph, and a Predator.
Exactly. It has to be mentioned every time because Bill Paxton is a GOAT.
He is. And you know who else he was? He was Bill in Twister. And he increased tornado siren alarms by 15 minutes. At least that's what he was trying to do. And you know what?
He was a goddamn hero.
He was a goddamn hero. That, my friends, is Gotham FM episode number 2. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Episode 3, will it be 2 months down the road? We do have plans to record it this weekend. We will do our best to make sure and get through with those plans. More videos coming to the channel as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video.
Yeah, baby.
Let me know what you think about this down in the comments section below. Give it a like, share it around, and I hope today we helped earn your subscription here to the channel. We'll see you guys next time on Gotham
Get ready.
FM.
Next week, we're reviewing Pootie Tang.
Ugh. What's wrong with you? Pootie Tang.
How long did we go for? And this is the part where
Yeah.
you lose the record.
Here we go.